And we're live! Hi, welcome. My name is Sophia Botha, and welcome to Botha Rants, the show where we go through all the latest LGBTQ and political news of interest. And again this Friday, I am joined by Ozma. How you doing, Ozma?
Hey, the DM apparently. D&D is cursed for the particular session that happens on Fridays, and you know what? If I'm not doing D&D, I might as well be here.
Thank you for joining us. You're always welcome. Now, trigger warning to Tory establishment types who suck establishment cock. You're not going to like what I have to say tonight. Because really, there's only been one story dominating the news this side of the pond, and that is... Yes, Skeletor has died. So, yeah.
Oh, can you share screen with me?
Oh, shit, I forgot. Yeah. Sorry.
It's okay. Like, I jumped in a bit later than I normally would anyway.
Yeah. So yes, Prince Philip has died, and I mourn not that a pampered racist tosser has died. And believe me, he was a pampered racist tosser.
Well, yeah, and honestly, I disapprove of you putting down Skeletor like that. Skeletor is way more interesting than Prince Philip will ever be.
Also, this is a joke only British people will get. Will get. He literally is now a 99 flake. It's a type of ice cream here. So yeah. Do not shed a tear for this. He was an awful fucking human being, essentially. Pretty much.
Wait, are you saying that there are lots of rich people who are given money by the government who don't actually do anything beneficial to any people outside of themselves? They're assholes?
Yeah. And of course now we're going to have to put up with, umpteen fucking tributes in the mainstream media giving, shining a glowing light upon him and forgetting that he was a racist bastard.
Wait, the real question, much like the Stalin funeral, will people get trampled to death?
I don't know. I don't know what is arranged. I mean, look, I lived through the whole Diana thing back in '97, right? And I did feel sorry for Diana, and in some respects, she did seem to be treated quite poorly by the establishment.
Well, yeah, that's because she actually tried to do some good things, and
Yeah. Um, but the thing is, the way the media were going on about her, I half expected her to to rise out of her coffin and be the second fucking coming. It was kind of, I mean, look, I've got my issues with Mother Teresa, right? But
a lot of issues. I have a lot of issues with
yeah,
Mother Teresa.
but ironically, she died in the same week as Diana, and you kind of think, well, hold on, Diana lived in palaces and you know, got you know ridden around in chauffeur-driven limos. You know, sure, she did raise the lion mines, and she was somebody who did speak up for people who had AIDS. I'm not denying she didn't do some good stuff, but Mother Teresa, at that time, before I found out all the stuff we've found out since about Mother Teresa being as corrupt as fuck, at the time it was kind of like, hold on, this was a woman who lived in abject poverty, caring for the most destitute of people,
until you find out it's just a lack of medicine and helping convert people and helping spread the homophobic AIDS theory in Africa.
And I suggest people read Christopher Hitchens' book on Mother Teresa. But I mean, at that time, it was kind of like, because I just felt that everyone went so over the fucking top about Diana. I really fucking did. Yeah, I mean, I kept a low profile because I didn't want to upset anybody. But I do remember this sort of pandemonium that went on, and everyone was sharing their feelings and whatever else. They were basically they were blubbing their eyes out, not because of Diana, but because of their own shit, right? But using Diana as sort of like a shield. For that, and I just remember, and I remember the day of the fucking funeral, and the limo fucking driving up from London to the Midlands, and being the hearse, being driven up, to wherever the fuck it was, the motorway had been cleared, and the people were throwing flowers at the bridge on the from the bridges onto the limo, and Elton John singing at the funeral, and her brother making that speech and whatever else. I don't remember it all. I just thought, hey, I just can't get worked up about royals dying. Okay, I just can't.
Yeah,
because essentially, right, there is such hypocrisy, and one of those hypocrisies I hate is that you'll have Tory fucking politicians who will bash disabled people in receipt of fucking welfare, calling them welfare spongers, right, but have no problem paying the royals, right, their dull money. It's whatever they might call it, the civil list, whatever, it is essentially dull money, right? For basic, to live in fucking palaces and ride around in fucking horse-drawn fucking, golden carriages and, eat plush fucking lunches, they do not want for anything, do they, the fucking royals, And, yet there's so many, yet no one questions, that they live off the, taxpayers' money, right?
And the level of praise they get, too.
A disabled person has a fucking birthday party for themselves, if they're in receipt of welfare, the next thing they know, there's people going down to the benefits agency saying, I think there's something iffy about this person because they were able to afford to have a nice birthday party. I mean, it's for fuck's sake, this is the kind of fucking bullshit mentality we live in, and I just can't fucking stand it.
Yeah.
Anyways, and I mean, as this satirical headline says it all, yeah, yeah,
yeah.
I mean, the other thing is, like, everyone's, how sad it is, but he's not. He was 99.
Yeah, but I mean, people are acting like the new Captain America in the Captain America TV show, where he's just like, Captain America, he was like a brother to me, and the guy didn't even fucking know Captain America, but people are acting the same way about royals.
Yeah, well, I mean, 99 ain't, not many men get to that age. Okay?
Yeah.
So, and there's probably, I just think there probably are other 99-year-old people dying today who are dying in abject poverty because, and having to have made the choice through the last winter between heating and eating. This guy wanted for fucking nothing, right? And
Yeah.
and what did he do, with his privilege? Be a racist cunt.
Yeah.
Which we will get to.
Bill Gates has done more with his wealth than that person.
And of course,
that's not saying much.
Of course, Keith Stalin, sometimes known as Keir Starmer, being he's an establishment, shill, had to pay tribute, despite the fact that, and I will say this, look, I'm not. It's not like I was wishing Prince Philip to drop dead. I wouldn't do that. Okay, don't wish people dead.
Yeah.
Okay, but and I don't doubt anybody. The vast majority of people in the Labour Party would have done so. Wouldn't have done so either. But the point is, the vast majority of members in the Labour Party are fucking Republicans, right? But of course, here's Keir Starmer sucking fucking establishment cock and paying tribute. But hey. Keir Starmer is Sir Keir Starmer. He's part of the fucking establishment. He's part of the fucking furniture, which is fucking wrong
an extraordinary public figure. I don't know anything about Prince.
Extraordinarily racist.
I know absolutely nothing about Prince Philip. That's like I don't.
Well, he was married.
Well,
Philip was married to Lizzie. Lizzie's the queen.
Oh,
she's.
I don't care. I know more about the Queen than Prince Philip. I don't care about him.
Yeah. This is a good response. From the blog. Another angry voice. In response to Prince Philip's death, political parties across Britain are suspending campaigning for the upcoming elections. Suspending the functioning of a democracy over the death of a royal figure, such as a pitiful and grovelling display of subservience to an unelected political power. It's absolutely true. The royals aren't elected, thus they're not accountable directly to the electorate, right? And before anyone says, "Oh, they don't have any powers," actually, Lizzie could dissolve Parliament. She can still do that, right?
Yeah.
It would be extraordinary, but she can do that, right? And thus, and isn't accountable to the electorate for doing so. Yeah. In any functioning democracy, no unelected figure should ever take precedence over democracy itself. But somehow in Britain, this demonstration of absolute primary of an unelected power is. So I forgot to get the rest of it, but you get the gist, and he's right, and they're right. They are absolutely bang on, right?
Yeah, and it's not like we will ever be royals.
Oh, by the way, Nigel Farage, pompous racist twat. He's tweeted. I did see before we came on. He's moaning that he said world leaders have been paying tribute to the death of to Prince Philip, other than the president, the US president, and the vice president. Well,
yeah.
Well, we know that Nigel really...
There was a fucking revolution, motherfucker. Like, of course we're not going to do fucking sitting tribute to the goddamn... We fought against that, and I realized that Britain tried to take that back in 1810, but they failed, and U.S. is its own goddamn country. This isn't... Yeah.
Well, what I suggest to Nigel, and generally, is shut the fuck up, get a room with Trump, and further explore their bromance. You know?
Yeah.
Because they really love each other deep down. I don't know, some people are going to go, "I'm being homophobic." Hey, no, I'm not. I would gladly welcome Nigel Farage and Donald Trump to come out as a couple. But the thing is, they're both homophobic bigots. That's the point.
So they'll stay in the closet.
Yeah. So this is another response. Oh, great. Well timed, Phil. Now the Tories have another way of distracting the media from what is going on in Ireland, which we will get to, and the Brexit fuck-up. I feel so sorry for Liz, but the stress of her grief will hasten her demise, which will be a complete and utter patriotic, nationalistic, flag-hugging sobfest, while the buggery of Britain continues as we sob into our pints. Yeah, true. That's true.
Yeah,
I mean,
and you have those people who worship the royals.
Well, yeah, and they're fucking stupid. They don't,
Yeah.
I remember when I was growing up, right, and I quickly figured out by the time I was in my early teens, right, because those were the days when, like, every fucking day in the tabloids there was a story about Diana, right, or Fergie, and it was like, this is just one great distraction from what's really going on, right? The royals are one big distraction, right? It's the fucking it's the real life soap opera. People salivate about, and it's like, for fuck's sake, if people were just so obsessed about correcting the ills of the world, we wouldn't be in this fucking mess.
Yeah.
I don't know. Some people say, yeah, well, people need to switch off. Yeah, okay, fine. Switch off at night. We'll go watch fucking Dallas Dynasty, EastEnders, what the fuck ever, right? But the point is, right, I am sick and tired of the news media fucking, obsessing about the fucking royals as a means of distracting the masses from, the Tories fucking everybody with neoliberal capitalism. Okay.
Yeah, and honestly, look, I have had Lord's Royals songs stuck in my head this whole time.
Oh, I thought you had the fighting song for my intro stuck in your head.
No, but that was only because I joined the YouTube, entered the YouTube thing too late. I just the We Can Never Be Royals thing is going on.
Lizzie has wasted no time whatsoever.
Yeah, although I feel there's a slight problem with that. It's ready to single and mingle unless you're poor.
Yeah. Freya's in chat. This is actually a tweet of hers. Because not just Freya, but just about everybody's going to start gossiping about the future of the monarchy now. Well, here's my response. People can gossip as much as they want about the future of the royals. I really don't give a shit. They can all go and live in the Octopus Garden along with Ringo, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
I fucking hate that song, Octopus Garden.
Oh, I like that song, so...
I'm sure, actually, I think Chrissy likes it. A lot of people do, but I fucking hate it.
Yeah.
But anyways...
That's fine. Everyone's
it's a one Beatles song I absolutely do hate. No, I just honestly don't. It's just like, well, one privileged toff will be replaced by another privileged toff.
Yeah.
So fucking what? How about us gossiping about getting rid of the royal family? How about us gossiping about having a head of state which is accountable to the fucking electorate, who isn't a head of state because they were born with the right silver spoon shoved up their ass? Yeah? How about that? Yeah? Whew. Oh, hold on. Got the running order a bit wrong there. Yes, so I know that this is a republication of that article we read a few.
Wait. Prince Philip was the one who got all that fucking high quality medical attention before everyone, and then dies like 2 or 3 weeks later.
Oh yeah. The other thing I should mention is that you won't know this, but in this country, right? If you reach 100, you get a telegram from the Queen, right? Um,
Well, I guess Prince Philip will miss that telegram.
yeah, and he was only, I think he was like 3 weeks off his 100th birthday. So Lizzie wouldn't, his wife wouldn't have sent, doesn't can save on the stamps now, in sending him that telegram. Anyways. So, Prince Philip was perhaps known for his gaffes. Oh, you see, that's the other thing. When they give those glowing fucking tributes, morning, noon, and fucking night. I mean, I was going to say, if you've noticed on Twitter, Channel 4 is trending because Channel 4 have actually still kept to their original television schedule rather than changing it because of Prince Philip dying, right?
Nice.
And they're getting a whole load of flack for it, right? Well, not everybody wants to, watch wall-to-wall fucking saturated coverage, paying a glowing tribute of someone who was just a nasty piece of shit, to be honest.
And let me guess, these gaffes, these quote unquote gaffes are.
But the point is, if they do mention the fact that he was a racist tosser, they'll say, "Oh, it was gaffes." Oh, he made a few gaffes. He made more than just a few. Okay, he was often he often shocked the public with his outspoken remarks and clangers. His reputation for plain speaking often led to controversy, but he was once branded a national. Was he?
Oh God.
By the UK press for his inability to curb his off-the-cuff remarks.
That's not a talent.
Yeah, he claimed he was misunderstood. No, we heard what you said quite plainly, Philip, mate. In fact, Prince Philip was misunderstood almost anywhere he went. Here are some of Philip's famous quotes: "British women can't cook," in Britain in 1966.
Yeah, what a gaffe. What a hilarious joke he made, and definitely not something that.
So, as well as racism, can we add misogyny as well? I mean, this guy was an all-round fucking bigot. So, what do you gargle with? Pebbles speaking to singer Tom Jones after the 1969 Royal Variety performance. Well, he doesn't like Tom Jones. Okay, fine. Neither do I. I declare this thing open, whatever it is, on a visit to Canada. 69.
Okay. Okay, that one was likely a joke.
Everybody was saying we must have more leisure. Now they are complaining that they are unemployed during the recession.
My God.
That is fucking insensitive. Yeah.
Yeah, no. That is. Poor people don't want to work and are bitching about it now.
If it's got 4 legs and is not on a chain,
it's not a chair. If it has 2 wings and it flies, but it's not an airplane. And if it swims and it's not a submarine, the Cantonese will. Oh God.
Oh God.
Yeah, 1986 worldwide. Oh my God, that's racist as fuck.
It looks like a tart's bedroom on seeing the plans for Prince Andrew and Sarah Ferguson's house in Sunningdale Park in 1988. Yak, yak, yak! Come on, get a move on! Shouted from the deck of the Royal Yacht Britannia in Belize in 1994 to the Queen, who was chatting to her hosts on the quayside.
Quayside?
Yeah, quayside. That's
Whatever.
it. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Right. Oh. Lovely.
Yeah. So he was an asshole to the Queen. So the Queen is better off without him.
We didn't have counsellors rushing around every time somebody let off a gun, asking, "Are you all right?" are you sure you don't have a ghastly problem? You just got on with it about the Second World War, commenting on modern stress counselling for servicemen in 1995. So, basically, belittling mental illness. And actually, Philip, they knew about shock therapy by the Second World War, so fuck you.
Yeah, it's... yeah, no. I mean, Prince Philip has never had to deal with that level of trauma ever in his life.
Well, he did
and
serve...
also that picture
he did
is
serve
a wonderful picture of him being a cunt.
He did serve in the Second World War. But you see, when royalty or the aristocracy, we're told they serve. You know, for instance, Prince Andrew, him who was very friendly with Jeffrey Epstein. He served in the Royal, I think it was the Royal Navy during the Falklands War. But from what was emerged now, he got rather pampered treatment when he was serving.
Yeah.
You know, so did he really serve? You know, that's the, you know.
Well, he served and was served.
Well,
but
that's a good one. Oh, Ozma, you come up with some good ones sometimes. You do. How do you?
It's Jewish heritage. We're always good at humor.
Yeah,
that's how that works.
How do you keep the natives off the booze long enough to get them through the test?
Oh my god!
Fuck!
Holy shit!
Oh god! This was said in Scotland. Oh
yeah!
Fucking hell! I mean, some of these are quite recent. I mean, 1995 wasn't that long ago, you know, and that would have been considered, that at that time it would have been considered out of order. If a cricketer, for instance, suddenly decided to go into school and beat a lot of people to death with a cricket bat, which he could do very easily. I mean, are you going to ban cricket bats, in 1996 amid calls to ban firearms after the Dunblane shooting?
Oh my god, this argument, like...
Fuck, I didn't know about
that. For one thing...
That is more than... That's actually offensive. You probably don't know about the Dunblane massacre. It was a spree killing here.
No, but I mean, we've had plenty of spree killings in the United States.
Yeah. But they happen far less in this country, and that's what led to handguns being banned in this country. And also, also here's a really eerie fact. Have you heard of the tennis player Andy Murray?
No, I have not.
Right, he's a British tennis player. Has been good in his day. He was a kid at that school, and the class, which basically, I think it was a guy called Thomas Hamilton, went into an assembly hall and killed a load of kids while they were doing PE, right? And Andy's class was due to go into the hall next, and they were stopped from doing so. He had a really lucky escape.
Yeah.
And he can't talk about it. He seriously can't. I've seen interviews where, you know, he will burst into tears. You know, it's still a trauma for him, and you get fucking clout. You know, this is the kind of shit, you know, you would hear from you know, gun nuts in America, isn't it? You know.
Yeah, no, I know, and honestly, like, you've got one good swing with cricket bat before someone who's tough. Well, from the cricket bats do not have remarkable range, so people are going to be running away from the person swinging a goddamn cricket bat. The other thing is, one miss from a cricket bat can leave you completely wide open to get your head smashed into a wall by someone who is an athlete. So, no, you can't kill people, a mass of people that easily with a cricket bat. It's much easier to do so with a gun because of the range and because of the speed of firing. And, well, it's a good thing to add to a military. Shock. Guns are good at killing people.
Yeah,
much better than cricket bats.
bloody silly fool in 1997, referring to a Cambridge University car park attendant who didn't recognise him. You see, that's it. He's just inside.
That's just ego.
Yeah. It looks as if it was put in by by an Indian, pointing to an old-fashioned fuse. For fuck's sake, that's racist. Well, as I said,
that's racist as fuck.
Deaf. If you are near there, no wonder you are deaf. To young people in Cardiff.
Young deaf people in Cardiff in 19... Oh, God.
Referring to a school steel ban. That's racist because obviously steel bans, from the Caribbean.
I mean, also, it's racist and ableist.
They must be out of their minds in the Solomon Islands in 1982 when he was told that the annual population growth was 5%. I don't know what he means by that, but whatever. You are a woman, aren't you?
Well, I assume that he means they're fucking a lot, but like that's not generally considered a bad thing.
You are a woman, aren't you? In Kenya in 1984, after accepting a small gift from a local.
So transphobic, misogynistic, and racist, all in one. That's an accomplishment.
If you stay there much longer, you'll be slitty-eyed.
Oh my God.
This is the everyone knows this one.
Yeah, that's a racist.
It says British students
Super
in China
racist.
during a 1986 state visit. Your country is one of the most notorious centres of trading in endangered species in the world. In Thailand, in 1991, after accepting a conservation award. Well, I don't know if that's true or not, and I don't know if that's insensitive or not. That one the jury's out on, shall we say?
Yeah, because he might actually be talking about conservation efforts.
Yeah, but the thing is, this is a guy who went hunting.
Yeah.
Anyways, oh no, I might catch some ghastly disease in Australia in 1992 when asked to stroke a koala.
Well, okay, so that one is legitimate. Koalas are notoriously disease-ridden.
I wonder if that was a trip to Australia he went on, and I think it might have been that one, where basically in like cheese factory, dairy factories, cheese factories, you have to wear a hairnet, right? And
so you don't get loose hair doesn't end up in the cheese.
And you white coat and protective shoes and whatever else. He refused to do so, and so basically the factory had to dump all, because he went on a visit round his factory, and they had to dump all their inventory afterwards, right?
Yeah, and that
because he just refused to do it, right? Yeah. You can't have been been here that long. You haven't got a pot belly to a Britain in Budapest. Oh God.
Yeah, racist.
Yeah, again. Aren't most of you descended from pirates? To wealthy islander in the Cayman Islands.
Yep, racist.
Wrong islands, mate. It's the Bahamas. You managed not to get eaten then, suggesting in 1998 to a student who had been trekking in Papua New Guinea. Oh God, that is racist.
Racist as fuck.
Yeah. In Germany in 1997, he welcomed German Chancellor Helmut Kohl at a trade fair as Reichs. Oh God.
God.
Yeah, it's a.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's racist and insensitive to the
Reichs Chancellor. That's it. Yeah, that's that was the last time. Yeah, we give it to Adolf Hitler. Yeah, that's racist again. You're too fat to be an astronaut. To a 13-year-old Andrew Adams, who told Philip in Salford in 2001 he wanted wanted to go into space.
Yeah, no,
fat shaming
that
as
is
well.
Yeah, fat shaming.
Yeah, I wish he'd turned the microphone off. Muttered at the Royal Variety performance in 2001 as he watched Sir Elton John perform.
That's sensible because Elton John I'm not a fan of. So
Right, here's my opinion on Elton John.
He's overrated. And...
Right, okay. Here's my opinion on Elton John. The stuff he did in the 70s, fine. Stuff afterwards, not so good. Okay.
That sounds about right. Actually.
Well,
I agree with that.
Crocodile Rock's a great song. Goodbye Yellow Brick Road always makes me want to cry. Your song. Those are great. Those are great. It's when he got to Don't Go Breaking My Heart. I just think, oh, terrible. Do you still throw spears at each other in Australia in 2002, talking to a successful
You can't
Aboriginal...
see me, but I'm flipping him off from a distance because...
That's actually particularly offensive because I don't know how much you know about colonial history, but if there's one group of people who were completely and utterly fucked over by the British, it was the Aborigines.
Yeah, Australia has been fucking them over forever.
And I remember one time with Terry the Tory troll. He was trying to defend the British Empire, and he says, "Well, name me a country where the British Empire was detrimental to the indigenous people who lived in that country." And I went, "Australia and the Aborigines." And he went, "Yeah, okay, I have to give you that one." Even he couldn't argue that.
Oh my god! So Terry the Tory troll is less of a racist than Prince Philip, is what I'm hearing. That's a low bar to have completed. Oh god!
You look like a suicide bomber to a young female officer wearing a bulletproof vest in Stornoway, Isle of Lewis in 2002. That's racist.
Racist and probably sexist as well. But
do you know they're now producing eating dogs for anorexics? What?
To a blind woman outside of what the absolute fuck? Like he doesn't even know which ableism he's dealing with, and he just wanted to shame a blind woman. He just wanted to be ableist and misogynistic.
But the thing is, this comment here does expose the fact that you've got some blind woman who probably can't afford to feed herself properly, because and has been called probably a welfare sponge for getting any government help. Yeah, Philip, he has 3 square meals a day, doesn't he? On the taxpayers, or did, on the taxpayers' dime. And
I assume probably racist as well, due to what he chose, but that I don't know the full context.
Well, you didn't design your beard too well, did you? To design a Stephen Judge about his tiny goatee beard in July 2009. All right, he doesn't like goatees. Okay.
I mean, to be fair, I'm not a fan of the small goatees, but I haven't seen it, so it could be really good for all I know.
Do you know I used to look like the 4th member of ZZ Top? Yeah, that's right. I used to have a beard that long. There's a lot of family in tonight after looking at the name badge of businessman Atul Patel.
Oh god!
At a Buckingham Palace reception for British Indians. That's racist. Do you work at a strip club to a full 24-year-old Barnstable Sea Cadet Elizabeth Rendell in March 2010 after she told him she worked in a nightclub? That's sexist, misogynistic again. Do you have a pair of knickers made of this? Pointing to some tartan to the Scottish Conservative leader Annabel Goldie at a papal reception in Edinburgh in September 2010. He doesn't like the Scots, does he? Despite the fact he was the Duke of fucking Edinburgh. Bits are beginning to drop off on approaching.
Well, I mean that is a fair comment
Yeah, okay,
about
fine.
himself.
How many people have you knocked over this morning on that thing? Meeting a disabled David Miller who drives a mobility scooter at the Valentine Mansion in
Oh, he
Redbridge. That's
he
fuck.
loves that ableism.
Yeah. I would get arrested if I unzipped that dress to a 25-year-old council worker, Hannah Jackson, who was wearing a dress with a zip running the length of its front.
Okay,
Jubilee.
sexist and
Well, is it,
creepy.
that sounds like a dirty old man, that does.
Well, it sounds
Lecherous
well, it
old
sounds
man.
rapey.
Yeah. The Philippines must be half empty as you're all running the NHS. Well, no, that's racist. And if it wasn't for immigrants, the NHS would collapse. So they are welcome. Most stripping is done by hand to an 83-year-old Mars factory worker, Audrey Cook, who was just asking how she
What
used
the fuck?
to strip or cut Mars bars by hand in April 2013.
That's just misogynistic.
No, he's just being a dirty old man again.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like the fact that he's just immediately associating every woman with sex is just
treat them as sex objects. Yeah, objectifying them. Do you get bonus points if you knock her off after spotting a toddler sat on an inflatable ball during an activity class at a care home in 2013? That's just fucking insensitive. Children go to school because their parents don't want them in the house, prompting giggles from someone I can't pronounce.
Who
survived an
I can't pronounce either.
Who survived an assassination attempt by the Taliban after campaigning for the right of girls to go to school without fear. Jesus.
Yeah, that's all kinds of awful.
Yeah.
Oh wow, this is a. Oh, okay. I was gonna say this is a long list.
Just take the fucking picture. Losing patience with an RAF photographer at the events to mark the 75th anniversary of the Battle of Britain. All right. Yeah, photographers can be a pain in the ass. You look starved. To a pensioner on a visit to Charterhouse for an elderly.
You look starved. I'm not going to do anything about it, but you look starved.
Well, I can't stand up much longer to mathematician Michael Atiyah, who told him he was sorry to hear that he was standing down from public duties in May 2017.
What public duties?
You all should be locked up. To Royal Marines who completed the 1,664 mile trek on August 2017 on his final official Royal engagement as he began his retirement.
Oh God. Sorry, I just looked at the next one. Is that a terrorist pointing at a bearded man in the crowd at Sandringham on New Year's Eve 2017?
No, that's racist. I'm just bloody. What's that word?
I'm just a bloody amoeba.
Amoeba. On the Queen's decision that their children should be called Windsor, not Mountbatten. Gentlemen, I think it's time we pulled our fingers out to an industrial co-partnership association on Britain's inefficient industries in 1961. Are you asking me if the Queen is going to die on being questioned on when the Prince of Wales would succeed to the throne?
Never.
If the man, if a man had succeeded in abducting Anne, oh yeah, Prince. Yeah, there was I remember there was an back in the 70s. Wasn't there? I think somebody did try and kidnap Princess Anne. If a man succeeded to abducting Anne, she would have given him a hell of a time in captivity on a gunman who tried to kidnap the royal princess in 1974, the year I was born. I hope he breaks his bloody neck when the photographer covering a royal visit to India fell out of a tree. How lovely.
Why? Just why?
If it doesn't fall or lay or hey, she's not interested on Princess on Princess Ra. That's Princess Anne. Oh God.
Good old misogyny.
Yeah, to his daughter.
Yep.
When a man opens a car for his wife, it's either a new car or a new wife. Oh, more misogyny. Yeah. It's pleasant change to be in the country that isn't ruled by its people. To Paraguayan dictator Alfredo.
Well, of course he would say that. The fucking royals want to be back in royal power, and they're largely probably hoping that this democracy thing will die out.
All right, this one is actually funny. Where did you get that hat? Supposedly to the Queen at the coronation, because she has to wear the, the famous crown which you see on display. Yeah, that's funny because
he is capable of making 2 or 3 good jokes and a lot of racism.
Yeah.
And sexism and ableism.
I just, and also he's meant to have treated his kids. I mean, the thing is, the royals have children, right? And then they expect the fucking nanny to fucking look after them, not them. But his attitude towards some of his kids was meant to have been quite, not good, shall we say. Anyways, before we move, oh yes, okay. So, we said that Brexit would cause issues in Northern Ireland.
Yep.
And it's caused fucking riots. Okay, to explain to people outside the United Kingdom, the Brexit deal struck by Boris Johnson meant that there was a trade wall in the Irish Sea between Northern Ireland and mainland Britain, okay? Which means, essentially, that the loyalist wankers in Northern Ireland, who haven't realised that they'll probably be better off reunification with the Republic of Ireland, are having a tizzy about how this is basically this is it's eroding their identity or whatever the fuck else, because basically the loyalists consider themselves British. And of course, if there's a trade war in the Irish Sea, that means that they're somewhat estranged from, the rest of Britain.
And now, also, don't they have to
but there's been
because it's 2 significantly different currencies now in the same general landmass.
Well, yeah, I mean, Britain only shares one international border. Sorry, the United Kingdom, not Britain. Britain's the big I. I know we've got different designations for this country. All right. So to explain to people, the big island is called Britain. Okay, that's where England, Wales, Scotland are, right? And the United, and that's part of the United Kingdom, and Northern Ireland's also part of the United Kingdom, and that's on the island of Ireland, right? And basically, Northern Ireland came into being 100 years ago when the rest of the Republic of Ireland seceded after a very bloody struggle. And the reason why Britain kept hold, sorry, I keep doing it myself. The United Kingdom kept hold of Northern Ireland was that basically that was the economic hub of Ireland at the time. Belfast was a big shipbuilding town. In fact, that's where the Titanic was built, and the Lusitania. And so, it was always the excuse that in the north there was a Protestant majority who didn't want to be part of the Republic of Ireland, blah de blah de blah, blah de blah de blah. The thing is, right, the whole Brexit thing has fucked up trade with the EU as it goes. I mean, it's something like 70% decrease in trade with the EU since Brexit. 70%, right? That's an awful lot. So, anyways, the proddy Nazis have been throwing Molotov cocktails and rioting in various places in namely Belfast. And what's hilarious is Eileen Foster, First Minister of Northern Ireland, and of course leader of the Democratic Unionist Party, or as I like to call them, the Ulster Bigoted Party. She said that she condemned all the violence, right? The thing is, the DUP have links with the loyalist paramilitaries. Now, I know some people are going to say, yeah, but Sinn Féin has links with the IRA. Yeah, but the thing is, we always hear that, right? That Sinn Féin has links with the IRA, but you never hear it on the news, do you? On the establishment BBC and the rest of the mainstream media, that the DUP have been involved, with have had an association in the past with fucking loyalist paramilitaries, and they're not fucking loyalists, okay? They're a bunch of racist scum. Believe me. The loyalist, I mean, if there's one place in the United Kingdom where the flag shagging is already fucking compulsory, it is Northern Ireland. Okay, the fucking go around the loyalist areas, you see fucking Union Jacks everywhere. That's my that's my identity. What a fucking piece of fucking material. What the fuck does it mean to be British? I don't fucking know. Yeah?
Yeah.
Cups of tea and cricket on the village green. Women cycling to evening song on a warm summer's evening and warm beer.
I have a nice
It's bollocks. Last night. It's bollocks. That's not a Britain which has ever fucking existed and nor will ever fucking exist. Now, okay, maybe, I'm not saying that, people, that it's not a legitimate, political stance to say that you don't want to be part of the Republic of Ireland, right? But in the long, because it is, I've never supported things like the IRA or and the terrorism they waged, to bring about, British troops being removed from Northern Ireland and, the restoration of a united Ireland. Because terrorism is wrong, okay? And a lot of innocent people got killed. However, I do understand the anger as to why the IRA came why people in the 1970s signed up to the IRA, because at the time, this is what people, I know something about the history of Northern Ireland. At the time, up until 1972, voting in Northern Ireland wasn't done one man, one vote. It was, if you had owned more property, you got more votes, right? I forgot what system they called this, but essentially all the Protestants tended to be more wealthy and own the land, so they got more votes. So basically, Catholics were always being, marginalised and persecuted, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Now I know some people say, "Hold on, you're an atheist, Sophia. Why do you give a shit about Catholic v Protestant? It's just a sectarian bickering." It's cultural. It's not just it's not just religion. And to be honest, I've said this before. Sinn Féin supports things like LGBTQ equality, right? They represent the Catholic. Obviously, Sinn Féin represents the Catholic community.
Yeah.
So you'd expect that if they represent the Catholic community, they would be, homophobic and transphobic as fuck. No. The DUP, of course, which represents the Protestant community, well, they're anti-abortion, they're anti-LGBTQ, they're pro-death penalty, right?
Yeah.
They're more fucking Catholic. Well, actually, the Catholic Church, I think, opposes the death penalty. But generally, you'd look at some of the stances on social issues, you'd probably think the DUP are the fucking Catholics. Yeah. The reason I support, Sinn Féin and the SDF. Well, I would, if I lived in Northern Ireland, I would vote Sinn Féin. I'll be honest about that. Because they're socially progressive, and I am a social progressive, whereas people are like, Arlene Foster! What fucking century was she fucking born in? I mean, if she had her fucking way, they'll still be probably burning witches at the fucking stake.
I mean, it is an easy way for a lot of misogynistic men to get rid of women who want rights.
But yeah, have you
or
noticed?
Complain too much or say no.
I've always said men have no rights in the abortion debate. They don't.
Yeah.
I know they're going to say, yeah, but it takes 2 people to have a baby. Yes, but it takes 1 to carry that baby, to go through childbirth. Okay.
Look, this would be a different story if it was like the sci-fi TV show where the alien people were a bit like seahorses, and the woman only carried it some of the time, and the man carried it the rest of the time.
Was it Babylon 5?
No. Shit. It was it was a different alien. Shit. There was. God damn it. This is gonna bother me.
Anyways, while you're looking that up, I'll get back to the story. So, the thing is, Boris Johnson said, right, that with Brexit there would be no trade. There would be no trade barrier, right? There would be no. But he lied, right? And we warned because one of the problems was if there was a trade war between, the mainland Britain and Northern Ireland, that was going to set the loyalists off. If
someone mentioned it for me and found it before me, alienation.
Oh yeah. God, that's a blast from the past. But anyways, as I was saying, the other problem, of course, is there's now an international border between the Republic of Ireland and Northern Ireland. Right?
Yep, because of Brexit.
Yeah, and this pisses off the Catholic community, right? Because obviously people, particularly near the border, will have family the other side. Yeah. Usually, even before sort of, before, the I think it was, I forgot what agreement, what was it? Basically, there's always been free movement between Republic of Ireland and Northern Ireland, okay? And now there isn't so much, right? So, yeah, it's all really fucked up. And it's thanks to people like Boris, right? And what is hilarious is that another Brexiteer campaigner, Kate Hoey, who is actually from Northern Ireland, She was actually she was a Labour MP, but fuck me, she didn't belong in the fucking Labour Party. I mean, she was a Brexiteer. She was anti-LGBTQ. There were other things about her. You know, it was kind of like, why the fuck is she in the Labour Party? But she basically, people are pulling up saying, you know, you said that, you know, Brexit wouldn't lead to strife in Northern Ireland, and she's in complete and utter fucking denial about it. Yeah, things could go, you know.
Yeah, no, I knew this was going to happen like 2 years ago.
Yeah, and I told them so. And of course, where's Nigel Farage? Oh, he's complaining about Joe Biden not paying tribute to fucking Joe Biden. Joe Biden.
Joe Biden's not paying tribute to Joe Biden. What
Biden.
A shame! Like how Trump did the right thing and did tribute to Trump. So why can't Joe Biden do the same thing and tribute himself?
Yeah. So it's just a fucked up mess, and I told you so. It is the fault of people like Nigel fucking Farage. And people, you know, if someone gets, you know, it won't happen, but if someone gets them in a fucking, you know, news media studio, they should fucking challenge him about this.
Yeah.
Because we all said it would happen, and it's happening.
Yeah.
Anyways, talking of racist dicks, so Alex Jones, of course, is being sued by the families of victims of the Sandy Hook massacre for basically saying it was a staged event. No, it fucking wasn't. It happened. Okay.
Yeah.
You know, the thing is, he always said, I didn't come up with the conspiracy. Well, that's funny, Alex, because I actually remember that very afternoon, right? In 2012, right? Because like it was about 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon here when news was coming in, right, about Sandy Hook, and I immediately thought, I bet Jones is saying that this is a false flag, you know, as a prelude to basically coming to nick his gun, so you wouldn't be able to get it up, right? And sure enough, yeah, and that's what he was saying. Yeah, he was already fucking saying it before the fucking bodies were fucking cold. And he says, oh, I didn't, you know, that he didn't. No, bollocks, you did that, Alex. You came up, you know, you were the one who's pushed this, right? So, essentially, the U.S. Supreme, he appealed one of the decisions in the case to the U.S. Supreme Court. And the U.S. Supreme Court told him to get lost. Ha ha, ha ha, ha ha.
Well, I don't know if the Supreme Court even said anything. They just looked at the paper and probably threw it in the trash.
Yeah. Alex, you're on your ways to get being sued to the point that you don't have a pot to piss in, and I will have a fucking party when that happens. I fucking will. Well, actually, he'll probably try and do a fiddle, won't he? He'll move everything to. I don't know if he's remarried yet, because I know his previous wife divorced his ass. But if he does remarry, by the time the final verdict in the Sandy Hook the defamation case is in, he'll try and move stuff to his partner's name. So, you know, that's often a fiddle they try, isn't it?
Yeah, no.
You know, I'm still not certain that the Sandy Hook families will get the justice they deserve, because defamation is so hard to prove in a US court.
Yeah, but they might have an actual case with Alex Jones.
Well, I hope they do. I mean, don't get me wrong. I hope they do. Oh, shit. Hold on. Oh, fuck. I think I fucked things up here. Hold on a second. Yeah, hold on. Yeah, sorry. The wrong order. All right, so I saw Alex Jones was trending yesterday, and it's because of this. Now, just watch this, okay?
Hey, we need the police over here! They got a bunch of kids without their car seats!
Right, first of all, banned video. Doesn't look banned to me. Oh, you mean banned from YouTube? Yeah, that's because, Alex, you lie. And this video, I am certain, is fucking staged. Okay?
Yeah.
Hey, they're piling that car right now.
You got a car seat for them? You got a car seat? That's illegal, bro. Where are you taking these kids? That's illegal.
If you get in a traffic accident, those
Where
kids
are
are
you
going to get
taking these
hurt.
kids? You have a car seat.
That's illegal.
How is this Christian?
Hey!
Hold on. If they thought this was illegal, where the police? Why didn't they call the police to intervene? I thought Alex Jones he's become a big, bootlicking fan of the fucking police now. Despite the fact that he used to make documentaries like, Rise of the Police State 4,
Yeah, and it's just some guy with a shirt that says staff on the back of it who doesn't appear to be doing anything, so...
Yeah.
We need the police over here. They got a bunch of kids without their car seats. You're violating Texas law.
Who is this right here?
Hey!
You have no comment. See,
You got those children in there illegally.
You're about to run a human being over. Hey,
You got...
Jones thinks he's the fucking Incredible Hulk. Or is it the Thing? He looks more like the Thing from the Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
Those children in there.
Who are you?
You got those smuggled children illegally.
Who are you? Where are you taking these
You're
children?
smuggling children.
Are you part of
You got to be
this
legally in that vehicle.
You're not a part of this organization? Who are you?
That is just...
Where are you
We know
taking
you're
these
smuggling
kids?
these kids.
Where
Now
are
you
you
got
taking
them
these
in the
kids?
back of there without
Where
children
are you
seats.
taking these kids? Sir, identify.
This is
who
the
you
massive
are.
smuggling.
This is literally human smuggling. These are children. Where are you taking these kids?
And now
Sir,
they
where
get
are
beat
you
up in
taking
front.
these kids?
They don't even have car seats.
Sir,
they don't have their seatbelts
their
on.
seatbelts aren't even on.
They
Where
break
are you
all
taking
laws.
these children?
They do
Sir,
what they want.
identify yourself. Who are you?
Don't fucking hit me. I'll tell you right fucking
Who
now.
do you work for?
It'll be deep shit.
Are you part of this organization?
No, sure. I don't know.
So you don't know where these kids are going?
They're going to check the COVID over there.
No, they came from over there. They're not being checked for COVID. So you don't know who you
I
work
need
for?
to call the police.
We need to call the police right now. I want to know.
Yeah, well, why didn't you? You're just showing like you're going to call the police. You didn't. The thing is, and I'm going to say this for this is not the first staged video Jones has done. There was he hired a bunch of actors to dress up like supposedly like how he reckons Antifa dress and set a mattress on fire of some the mattress being of a homeless man.
Yeah.
And it was found out to be staged. Jones is just, he is a pathological liar.
Yeah, and it's just like a shirt that says staff on the back. It's just a shirt with staff printed on the back. And it like something that you bought. You could buy that for like $10 or something.
Yeah.
You could get that made. It's not complicated.
Yeah, and the trouble is, a lot of people bought into this saying, well, at least this is one good thing Jones has done. It's like, no, it's fucking staged. I can just tell.
Yeah.
Anyways, talking about racist gammon, Piers Morgan slams stand-in weather guy Alex Beresford for a premeditated Meghan Markle attack that cost him his Good Morning Britain job, and how Susan Reid's reaction disappointed him to the bombshell in a bombshell TV interview. Yeah, so for those who don't remember, Alex Beresford called Piers Morgan out for his racism towards Meghan Markle. Actually, I would reckon that Piers Morgan would have some nice things to say about Prince Philip, considering they're both, racist fucks.
Wait, was that the one that Piers Morgan ran out on?
Yeah. Yeah.
That just makes me want to watch it again. It's fun to watch him walk out and then immediately get fired.
Piers Morgan has slammed Alex Beresford for launching a premeditated attack during... well, no, it wasn't a premeditated attack, Piers. What it was calling you out for your fucking racism. You acted like a complete and utter snowflake. You were acting the same way, as those you accuse of trying of the wokies you accuse of trying to cancel everyone else, which isn't true. But so anyways, Piers Morgan slammed Alex Beresford for launching a premeditated attack during their on-air Meghan Markle row. That cost him his job on Good Morning Britain. In his first TV interview since he quit the show, the 56-year-old journalist, he's a journalist, caused a social media firestorm last month.
That's actually a question I have as well, because usually news commentators are oftentimes not journalists. They get
no, he is a journalist. I was joking.
Oh, okay.
I mean, he was the editor of the Mirror, and basically, I felt a little sorry for him for having to resign as the Mirror editor, because what happened was, he had decided that the Mirror were going to oppose the Iraq War, the illegal invasion of Iraq. Rightfully so in that respect. Okay, I agree with Piers there. It's not like everything Piers says is shit. I mean, he was quite good at challenging the Tory ministers over their response to COVID-19. I'll give him that. But he when he was the editor, they took a stance against the Iraq War, and they were sent these pictures of supposedly British troops physically abusing Iraqi detainees. I think it was the Abu Ghraib prison, and turned out they were faked, right? Now, I felt a bit sorry for him because there was some abuse by British soldiers of Iraqi detainees elsewhere, right? So I felt sorry for him in that respect. But interestingly, someone asked Piers Morgan, did he like The Wire, the TV show? And Piers said he hadn't watched it, and they said, was the phone hacking, the wiretapping, a bit too close to the bone for you? Now, this is a reference to the phone hacking scandal which happened 10 years ago, right? And let's just say that Piers Morgan, he got off clean with that one, when we know that it's likely that, like every other fucking newspaper, the Mirror was doing it just as much. Basically, you probably don't know about this, Osman. The News of the World, which was a Murdoch-owned newspaper here, right?
Okay.
Got caught phone hacking the mobile phone of a murder victim. Right.
That is all levels of wrong for a newspaper to do.
And this, basically, when this was found out, it was then, it all came out about how basically journalists at the News of the World had been hacking, celebrities and the phones of celebrities and politicians, right, to get stories.
Okay.
Hugh Grant, John Prescott comes to mind, and there was a big inquiry into all this, right? And basically in the inquiry, Piers Morgan did give evidence, but let's just say we know that there is some evidence to say Morgan was doing the same at the Mirror. I am sure other editors at other newspapers were doing the same thing. Believe me, it was rife. Yeah. Anyways, it led to an explosive on-the-air crash. Yeah, we know about this. Sitting down with US TV host Tucker Carlson on Monday.
Oh, racists like to get along.
Yeah, well, there's a surprise. One white supremacist talks to another. So I bet they get on like a house on fire. On Monday, to tell my truth about the controversy surrounding his criticism of the Sussexes, Morgan and Beresford's comments were part of a premeditated. Morgan said Sorry, I'm getting this wrong. Morgan said Beresford's comments were part of a premeditated attack. Actually, no, I actually remember it. Hold on, let me see if I can find it. Because you said you wanted to watch it again.
I liked that video mostly because I thought it was funny to see Pierce. It's sort of like it's funny to see awful people get owned. Like when Ben Shapiro talked to the right-wing BBC. Yeah, that's also a fun video to watch.
Is this the one? No, that's Alex Bereford. Yeah, here it is. Okay, well, it's this one. Sorry, I'm just looking for it, folks, because I mean, she did want to what you did want to see it, so.
Well, I wanted to see it again. I haven't seen it for a bit.
They have had an overwhelming amount of negative press. You know, I watched the program yesterday, and yes, they had some great press around the wedding, but what press is going to trash someone's special day? There was bad press around the engagement, before the engagement, and everything that has followed since has been incredibly damaging, quite clearly to Meghan's mental health and also to Harry. And I hear Piers say that, you know, William has gone through the same thing. But do you know what? Siblings experience tragedy in their life, and one will be absolutely fine and brush it off, and the other will not be able to deal with it so strongly. And that's clearly what has happened with Prince Harry in this situation. He walked behind his mother's coffin at a tender age in front of the globe. That is going to shape a young boy for the rest of his life. So I think that we need to all take a step back. And I understand that you don't like Meghan Markle. You've made it so clear a number of times on this programme. A number of times. And I understand that you've got a personal relationship with Meghan Markle, or had one, and she cut you off. She's entitled to cut you off if she wants to. Has she said anything about you since she cut you off? I don't think she has, but yet you continue to trash her.
Okay, I'm done with this.
No.
Sorry, no. Sorry.
So, do you know what? That's pathetic.
You can trash me, maybe not my
No.
See you later.
I'm being...
Sorry, can't do
This is
this.
absolutely diabolical behaviour.
So he's still bitching about it. He's still acting like a snowflake. He still refuses
that was
to.
just talking about like an actual an aspect of event and arguing for compassion. And if
and that wasn't
he had any sort of argument, he'd argue back.
That was a rather, that was a considered response. In fact, it took into account Pierce's feelings.
Yeah,
it wasn't a fucking attack, Pierce. Now who's acting like the fucking wokey
I understand she did things that hurt you, but she's entitled to take care of herself. Is not an attack.
No. He's just whining that he can't be a racist cunt. That's basically it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and and if he is, he gets called out. Well, good. Talking about racist gammon. So Andrew Neil, as you said, now Andrew Neil, well, he is a Tory gammon, okay.
Yeah.
And I'm going to keep on calling him gammon because he doesn't seem to like being called gammon. Andrew Neil has been mocked, for claiming gammon is a racist term. It's not. The original, it actually comes from a Dickens quote from a Dickens. I forgot which book, Dickens book, but it's there was a quote about someone being a bit of a gammon in it. That's where it comes from. Basically, for those who don't know, as in the United States, what gammon means, it basically means a white person who's a bit racist and a bit of a bigot. Okay, usually they're red in the face. You know, get very angry about things. Boomers, you know. The former BBC journalist, who is set to launch the new channel GB News in the coming weeks, blocked a man on Twitter after he called him a gammon. Talk about sensitive. Actually, Andrew Neil blocks me, funny enough.
Yeah, that is super sensitive. But by the way, the book was Nicholas Nickleby was the Dickens book, although apparently it has been used before as early as 1604.
I am so glad I have you. Yeah.
Yeah, because I look at, well, I mean, here's the thing about co-hosting. My job is to support you, and I want to actually help. And you looked up a lot of stuff, and you have all this stuff in order, and you have enough on your plate.
Yeah. Anyways, while Neil later claimed he was being sarcastic, it didn't stop people rinsing him for claiming that being called a gammon is an attack on his race. Gammon refers to the flushed skin colour of white person and gained popularity in the term to describe right-wingers and those who voted Leave in the Brexit referendum. Yeah.
Look, the only way you could make an argument would be if gammon was just used against Jewish people because it is related to pork and so therefore treif and mean. But that's not the case. When
one person replied, "Hey mate, gammon is a state of mind." It is. The 71-year-old wrote, "It refers to the colour ipso facto racist." Gammon isn't a race. Don't be stupid. Well, it isn't. Yeah. I have chosen to take take his use of gammon as an attack on my race, as the law now allows me to do. It's a hate crime, so he's racist.
Oh my god!
You think gammon is a race? That's the response.
No, it's just white. It's just a skin color. Like,
Neil,
I was joking about the previous comment. I was, it was a color related to pork.
Neil was questioned whether he thought gammon was a race, and he tweeted, "Colour equals race. Educate yourself, and join 2021."
I mean,
colour colour doesn't actually mean race.
Yeah.
I mean, Jews, Jews are an ethnic group. We don't have there are black Jews. There are, white Jews.
Sorry. Roommate.
When he was.
Go on.
Nevertheless, he was retweeted. Well, anyways, look, he's having a tizzy about, and this isn't the first time I've heard this. Look, the easiest way to explain gammon to an American is it's the British version of redneck, okay? You know where you are with that, okay? And Neil doesn't like being called out for the fact that he's a right, he's a right-wing gobshite. That's basically it, I mean, sure, look, we all know he's done some good. Well, he's at least done one good interview. Benny, yeah. That was Andrew Neil actually doing his job for once. Seriously,
yeah.
Because I've watched enough fucking interviews with Andrew Neil has done where he has gone soft on Tory MPs, far softer on Tory MPs than he does on Labour MPs. And, oh, by the way, yeah, the whole News GB thing, the News GB is going to be the equivalent to Fox News, basically. This is worrying. Amnesty International cites transphobic fear-mongering in a damning report claiming the UK is rushing to abandon human rights. Serious concerns about hostile attitudes towards human rights in the UK, including the government's failure to reform the gender recognition laws and transphobic fear-mongering, have been raised by the international human rights group Amnesty International. The stark rebuke of the British government comes as Amnesty International's annual report on human rights around the world. Policies on immigration, housing, and current efforts to curtail the right to protest mean the UK is speeding towards the cliff edge. Yeah, we're spiraling down into fucking fascism when it comes to upholding and preserving human rights legislation. In its 408-page report, and you don't expect me to read the whole fucking 408 pages, do you? Amnesty also condemns the Conservative government's failure to reform the Gender Recognition Act, as it should, in September 2020 as a move that fell short of human rights standards. Yes, why is it that a cisgendered person doesn't have to validate their gender, but I do? Why should any trans person have to validate their gender identity?
Well, you see, that's not a really good reason.
The GRA is the 2004 law that adult trans men and women use to get legal recognition of their gender. It is widely seen as outdated, overly bureaucratic, and expensive. Now there is a story I haven't included in the running order, but there is some good news. They have lowered the cost in people being able to get a gender recognition certificate. That's at least one good thing, but you still have to jump through the fucking hoops. I mean, my friend Caro actually lives over in the States, funny enough, your side. She's British, right? And she actually had to, for legal reasons, get a gender recognition certificate. Now, she hasn't had surgery, right? And you can get a gender recognition certificate if you haven't, if you're pre-op, but they don't like giving them out to pre-op people. She tried 3 times. It cost her, and eventually she had to get a lawyer involved, and it cost her thousands of pounds to get it done. A huge consultation into potential reforms to the GRA attracted more than 108,000 responses, with 80% of the respondents in favour of demedicalising the process of obtaining a gender recognition certificate, and 3/4 in favour of dropping the requirement for trans people to provide evidence of living in their chosen gender. But shelving the reforms, the Conservative Minister for Women and Equalities, Liz Truss, claimed it was not a priority for transgender people. How the fuck would you know, Liz? Are you trans?
So, you know, it's called selectively paying attention to stuff.
Yeah. Moreover, this Amnesty said there is growing transphobic rhetoric and fear-mongering in the media. Fuck me. Don't I know it. For years, the UK has been moving in the wrong direction on human rights, but things are getting worse at an accelerated rate, Amnesty International has said. Having made a mistake after lethal mistake during the pandemic, the government is now shamefully trying to strip away our right to lawfully challenge its decisions, no matter how poor they are. Yeah. Basically, this Amnesty International report is saying we're heading towards fascism.
Yeah, it's part of the reason it's 408 pages, by the way, is because it's covering every country, or a lot of countries in the world. Not every country, but...
Right. So do you remember where on Monday we spoke about this new voter suppression bill in Georgia.
Yeah.
And major. Why are you laughing?
Because I'm reading the headline.
All right. Well, I'm glad at Pink News actually. The old days of Pink News, they used to be so matter of fact about things. Now they do actually show their, they are honest about their bias, which is a good thing, by the way, because I generally agree with Pink News. Not always, but generally. Do you remember I said that we spoke about Major League Baseball had pulled the All-Star game from being held in Atlanta because of the new, new bill basically stripping voter rights away from people. Well, one of the complaints, and I know Dusty Smith said this on one of his streams, was that Coca-Cola hadn't said anything about this. Right?
Yep, and then they said something.
And now they have said something. So yeah, right-wing snowflakes boycott woke Coca-Cola to drink Pepsi. Instead, it's going to backfire badly. Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Republicans are boycotting Coca-Cola after the company's CEO hit out at the new law passed in Georgia that restricts voting rights. But their alternative isn't exactly ideal either. Georgia Governor Brian Kemp, who cheated his way to the governorship, signed a bill into law in March that is expected to significantly roll back voting rights and access, particularly for Black Americans. Under the terms of the law, outside groups are banned from giving food and water to people queuing to cast their vote, while additional identification requirements will also be on the table for absentee voters.
By the way, I know conservatives have been saying this over and over about, they're just banning gifts. Well, giving food and water to people is giving gifts to people. So yes, it is banning food and water.
Well, no, because that's what Ben Shapiro said. He said, well, people can bring their own food and Look, you don't go to the you don't go with going to vote isn't like a fucking day out. You don't take a fucking picnic hamper with you, or you shouldn't have to.
Yeah.
Fuck's sake. The law was has faced fierce backlash from the private sector, including Coca-Cola, which was founded in Atlanta, Georgia, by CEO John Quincy. Can you read it?
Yeah, it was founded at Atlanta, Georgia. CEO James Quincy lambasted the legislation. Nice alliteration there. In a statement released on Thursday, the 1st of April, saying the company is disappointed as the law will diminish or deter access to voting, because it will. Republicans corresponded in the usual way by calling for a boycott of the drink. Coca-Cola has provided lawmakers in Georgia with free drinks for decades, according to the AJC. Not sure what the AJC is, but that didn't stop 8 Republicans from writing to the Georgia Beverage Association requesting that all of the company's products be removed from their offices in response to Quincy's statements. Some Republicans, including Donald Trump, are now calling on supporters to boycott Coca-Cola, while others are pushing for conservative lawmakers to switch to Pepsi instead. Georgia House of Representatives Speaker David Ralston pointedly opened a Pepsi following legislative session, while Texas Senator Ted Cruz shared a tweet encouraging people to switch to Pepsi too. But Coca-Cola's biggest rival isn't exactly an ideal fit for the Republican political ideals. In fact, Pepsi has a long history of supporting LGBTQ plus rights, the same rights that most Republicans have tirelessly pushed back against.
Yeah, and I'm going to interject here. When North Carolina brought in that bathroom bill which discriminated against trans people, right? Pepsi's based in North Carolina, and they were very vocal in their opposition to it.
Yeah.
So, yeah. You know, I'm not saying they're perfect. Don't get me wrong. The Pepsi are not a perfect corporation, but, you know, when it comes to LGBTQ rights, they seem to be on the right side. Go on.
On its website, Pepsi details its commitments to LGBTQ plus rights in the workplace, noting that it was awarded a perfect score on the Human Rights Campaign LGBT plus workplace ranking and was named the best place to work for LGBTQ equality. Last year, following Black Lives Matter protests, PepsiCo pledged to invest more than $400 million over the course of 5 years to tackle inequality and create opportunities for people from marginalized backgrounds. Not something Republicans would generally be in favor of. So Republicans giving up Coke because the company's support for voting rights may not exactly have anywhere else to turn. Look, they would have to support small businesses. Tisk, tisk, tisk. What a shame.
Well, yeah. I've always drunk Pepsi. I just prefer it. But the other reason, Coca-Cola, I can't remember the complete story. Someone in chat might know. But there was there was a Coca-Cola bottling plant down in Colombia, and the workers there unionized, and the leader there was shot. And some people have sort of alleged that Coke were involved. So, you know, it wouldn't surprise me. Let's just say that.
Yeah, but Coca-Cola at least is able to tell which way the American public is going, and will support what's popular for maintaining their profits.
All right. Now, on the issue of... so Trump is saying that people should boycott Coke. Yet he doesn't seem willing to do so himself.
You may see a picture of a former president smiling at his desk, but others were smiling at what they saw half hidden behind the phone. It was circled, pointed at by arrows, labeled in a rectangle. Just a few days earlier, former President Trump had called for a boycott of Coca-Cola and other companies that opposed a Georgia voting law. Don't go back to their products until they relent, said his statement. And now, can you find the hidden Diet Coke in this photo?
It's a real thing.
Defenders weren't convinced it was the real thing. No one can verify that's actually a Coke bottle, but it sure looked familiar. Boycott for thee, not for me, posted someone. Trump's Coke bottle be like Shaquille O'Neal trying to hide behind a tree. The photo was posted by visiting former Trump advisor Stephen Miller, and people found lots to chuckle about, like the statue of Trump himself behind his Mar-a-Lago desk. But the possible boycott-busting Coke got the most attention. After all, this is a guy
it is a Coke.
Diet Cokes, right?
Known for his massive daily intake. Let's go
back a bit.
Until President Biden moved it. Massive daily intake. As a guy.
12 Diet Cokes, right?
No, this is a guy.
It's
12 Diet Cokes,
it's
right?
clearly Coke.
After all, this is a...
That is a bottle of Coke.
There aren't many companies that sell stuff in glass bottles, and there's no way in fuck Trump is supporting a small business.
Yeah, that is a bottle. I can see the fucking... Yeah, that is a bottle of Coke. I'm sure of it. But basically, this is typical Trump. It's one rule for him and another for everyone else. He expects everyone else to make sacrifices for him because he's such a fucking narcissist. It's the capital. It's like the capital riots, isn't it? You go right for me. You know, if you get caught, I'm not gonna get your asses out of jail. Yeah. Anyways. So, Joe Biden again is pledging support for the, trans community, which is good to hear.
Yeah, it is. It is the good thing that he is doing.
So, President Joe Biden addressed the transgender community last week to renew his promises for the Equality Act and other pro-equality policies. I want every trans person, especially every trans young person out there, to know I see you, I hear you, and I'll continue fighting for America, that transgender people, like everyone else, can live and thrive and succeed. He said in a virtual speech at this year's National Centre for Transgender Equality, Trans Equality. Yeah. Sorry, I'm getting tired.
Yeah, no, I can read everything. Speaking on the Transgender Day of Visibility last week, Biden said, "We have made significant progress in securing the civil rights of LGBTQ plus Americans, but we recognize that too many transgender people still face systemic barriers to freedom and equality. Too many transgender Americans face violence, harassment, and discrimination," he continued. "The crisis of violence against transgender women, especially transgender women of color, is a stain on our nation's conscience." One of several. He discussed alarming statistics on suicide and homelessness. He also touted work his administration has done so far in advancing trans rights. The signing of an executive order on his first day of office that extended some civil rights protections to LGBTQ people, ending the trans military ban, and the confirmation of Dr. Rachel Levine as Assistant Secretary of Health, the highest ranking transgender U.S. official in history.
Oh, sorry, I didn't realise there was a video down here. I could have just played that. But you get look, when it comes to Biden and his since he's been in office, when it comes to LGBTQ issues, I can't fault him. Right? He's thumbs up. You know. Sure, I don't agree with bombing Syria, but other than that, you know.
Well, I mean, I don't agree with bombing Syria. I don't agree in the lack of action against the ICE. I mean, they're not enough. He did a mild action against the ICE, but he hasn't done much to stop children being still being in cages. But yes, when it comes to LGBTQ rights, he has done actual good. That is being pushed back against by the Republicans, and the Republicans will lose in the long run.
But the person who said about Trump being an orange Nazi, which he is, I'm wondering, only people in Britain of a certain age will get this joke. I wonder if he's been drinking, oh God, what was it? Sunny Delight, that was it. Basically, there was this drink sold in the 90s called Sunny Delight, right? And one kid drank so much of it, his skin actually turned orange. Yes,
yeah, I vaguely, yeah.
You can check that out in your own time. Mike Pence and Kellyanne Conway joined forces to launch a new group that will promote traditional values. I don't even need to go past the fucking headline on this one, because you know what traditional fucking values is code for.
Yeah, and clearly the person writing that also knew, because he's sorry, it was just you know what that means.
Yeah.
Traditional values like sexism.
Misogyny.
Men are the only ones allowed to
Racism.
work and vote.
Homophobia. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, traditional values means freedom to be a Christian bigot towards LGBTQ people.
Yeah.
Yeah. We know what your game is. You know, I don't need to even to fucking read it. All right. 8. Oh yeah. So Fox host storms off after being confronted on camera by a blunt black lesbian, and this actually happened on the BBC. That's on Newsnight. So let's have a watch.
Boss Derek.
Because I think it's really rich for any Republican, especially a white man, to run around and claim that they care about the economic condition of black communities and black businesses when that's all a lie. Okay, there's nothing in their policies
Please let her finish.
that they've done. The other thing is that I don't work for the Biden administration.
Eric, I'm so sorry, we can't hear you. I'm going to let Aisha finish.
I don't work for the Biden administration, never have, but what I am is a black person in America. And everything that these voting laws stand for and what they look like are reminiscent to the Jim Crow policies that my family's lived under. Every single thing about it. So this is all about racial discrimination. And how dare you try to act like you are somehow a proponent of black people and businesses just to make a point and to try to create a wedge. It's ignorant and it's just disrespectful.
That's disgusting. I'm done. Put me off. That's disgusting. I am nowhere anything you're painting me to be. And the problem with American politics is exactly that. Because I'm white, you think I'm racist. That's BS. I'm done.
Will you just stay, Eric? Will you just stay for this question? So the question we've got,
That's a fucking snowflake. Can't even argue his fucking point, can he?
Well, yeah, that's oftentimes what happens. They get called out, and if they don't have an actual argument, they're just like, this is the problem. People calling me out. I'm going to run away and cry.
Yeah. So, you know, the fact is the Republicans don't want to be called out for the fact for their introducing, new voter restrictions, which are going to, in various states, which are going to basically discriminate against black people voting. You know?
Yep.
And they don't want to be called racist for doing so. Well, it is racist, so...
Yeah.
Nikki Tutorials describes being attacked, assaulted, and told she's better off dead than being trans. This poor trans woman. For those who don't know, she's a makeup artist on YouTube. She's quite a big channel, doesn't she? And she came out as trans, but the thing is, she was forced to. Because someone said they were going to out her. Now, I don't approve of people living in stealth, I'll admit. I do believe in trans visibility. I think it's very
well. I mean,
hold on. I haven't finished.
Okay. Oh, okay.
I do believe that trans visibility is extremely important. However, people should have the right. Trans people should have the right to live in stealth if they want to. It should be no one else's business if that's what they. If they don't want to tell people, then it's no one else's business.
Well, also there are some people who have varying abilities to deal with. Well, this being assaulted, saying that they're better off being dead than being trans. Like, some people can't psychologically cope with that. And yes, policies need to be put in place to stop that. But I understand wanting to live a safer life, or a life that you can if you have the opportunity. I get it.
Yeah. Trailblazing YouTuber and influencer Nikki Tutorials has opened up about being attacked and assaulted just for being openly trans. So this has happened since she's come out. And she didn't come out that long ago, did she?
Yeah.
Nikki, can you... Sorry.
Nikki DeJager, or who is better known by her YouTube name, Nikki Tutorials, opened up about her horrific treatment she has endured as a trans woman while doing the popular put a finger down trend on TikTok. I'm not aware of that trend. In the video, an emotional Nikki tutorial says, put a finger down if people have ever told you that it's just a phase, as she puts a finger down. Put a finger down if parts of your family have rejected you. Put a finger down if people have told you you're better off dead. Put a finger down if you've been attacked, bullied, or assaulted just because of who you are. And put a finger down if you feel like you're fighting this battle by yourself, she says. By the end of the clip, Nikki has put down all of her fingers.
Oh, there is a video here. All right, let's watch it.
Put a finger down if people have ever told you that it's just a phase.
Can I just say, I know she's emotional, but I love her eye makeup.
Yeah.
That's great. I love that eye makeup.
She's a talented makeup artist.
Yeah.
Put a finger down if parts of your family have rejected you. Put a finger down if people have told you that you're better off dead. Put a finger down if you've been attacked, bullied, or assaulted just because of who you are. And put a finger down if you feel like you're fighting this battle by yourself. This is something that trans people have to deal with on a daily basis. And I'm here to let you know that you are not fighting this battle by yourself. We are here. Trans visibility is here. If you're trans and watching this, I love you. I am so incredibly proud of you, and you are doing the right thing. We are here, and we're not going anywhere. Put a finger...
That was incredibly heartfelt.
Yeah, that was. And, look, stop hating on her. I mean, she's done nothing wrong. Just be herself. Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, just leave her the fuck alone. Be nice to her. She seems, a nice enough, person. What's wrong with people? Right, so, just to give a plug, and we're going to get on to the last but one subject. And I'm going to have a bit of a rant. I think you know what's coming. So, on Tuesday, I interviewed Tempest Crane, who is the trans woman most responsible for helping me to come out as trans. And fun enough, lives near to you, doesn't she? I've put you in touch with her because she as was revealed in this video, she's a D&D player. Now, here's the thing. So far,
which is how I became trans, because D&D is the devil's game, and because I played the devil's game, obviously that's why I'm trans.
The other than my interview with Veal Wild, who I got because I know Christy, all the interviews I've done have been with friends of mine, right? Essentially, right? And I have been getting a little frustrated in trying to reach out to other trans content creators, in finding out about any chance of doing a collaboration or, whatever, or just making contact with them, okay? And one of these people was Essence of Thought. Now, I have given Essence of Thought a positive plug on this channel before, because I remember saying that some people were complaining that I don't just hold on. Basically, I had a complaint that I don't, I do other subjects other than just trans rights, okay? And I sort of I said, well, look, Ethel, who's the main person behind this channel, primarily does trans rights. So I had put them, I sort of gave them a plug. I said, well, look, if you want someone that's honest and analytical, and seems purposeful, then, check out this channel, right? Anyways, back in February, I told them I'd given them a plug, and I had nothing from them, right? Okay? Not a thank you, nothing, okay? anyways, as I've said, I've got a bit frustrated in trying to make contact, because it's not just them I've been trying to contact. I've been trying to contact other YouTube trans content creators on YouTube. And anyways, like yesterday I sent out a tweet, and I know that you retweeted it. You're right, Ozma.
Yes, I'm listening to you and just I'm not quite sure. I don't really have anything much to say about that. I was just going to say that obviously with like rationality rules bullshit.
But I just sort of was getting a bit frustrated. So I just said, it would be nice if Essence of Thought, and I think I tagged one other trans content creator, just acknowledge my existence, right? Because they hadn't. What I didn't now I know that I was lashing out a bit, and I'll admit that was my frustration talking, and it was maybe it was a little wrong for me. What I didn't expect is the fucking response, tsunami of bullshit I got from Essence of Thought about me being ableist. Yeah, that's right. So for basically just asking why hadn't you, essentially responded to a tweet of mine, they accused me of being ableist. So
that's
and then they blocked you because
they blocked me like well before, because I
somehow but you must
I had done an actual mistake, and fucking Ileani did not help me. Furthered that mistake.
The thing is, they said they essentially said to me, "Oh, well, I've been dealing with some shit," and expected me to know that they'd been dealing with it. I didn't know. I'm not a fucking, because drum roll, I'm not a fucking mind reader. Okay, and then they seem to. They seem to think that I was being self-entitled about, wanting time on their platform and whatever else. No, it wasn't. I was just asking for, a response to a fucking tweet. That was all.
Well, I mean,
the least they could fucking do, and I get accused of being a fucking, ableist. But they mentioned that they blocked you. To which my response was, okay, if you're going to accuse me of being ableist for challenging you for not, responding to a tweet of mine, then I'm going to accuse you of being an anti-Semite for blocking Ozma because she's Jewish.
Yeah, I mean it's
silly,
absurd, wrong thing, and I honestly
and the thing is,
don't have a problem with them blocking me, because the whole situation was a mess, and I understand I've been doing my best to not cross any boundaries, but
now I don't.
It's a weird thing for them to bring up.
Now I know that they're autistic themselves, so. I don't know if they have problems trying to understand other, because I do. I have problems understanding, putting myself in the shoes of other people, right? It's a typical issue people with Asperger's have, right? And so, but they really just didn't seem to they just went on and on about how I was being ableist towards them because I didn't, I didn't have, the power of fucking telepathy to know that they were having problems, blah, 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 blah. I should have realised, blah, 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 and it was like, well, excuse me, but at the moment, I've got a fucking really bad infection in my leg. I'm maxed up to my eyeballs in fucking opioids, and taking really strong fucking antibiotics. If this thing doesn't clear up, further down the road, I could be looking at having half my fucking leg chopped off. It's partial amputation. Now, the other thing I've noticed with Essence of Thoughts is that yes, they're right in their criticisms of people like, as you can see on their channel of Rose of Dawn and Blair White. We know they are.
Yeah, and rationality rules, because rationality rules is an egotistical lying scumbag. Yeah,
but they're transphobic. Yet they continuously accuse Natalie Wynn, ContraPoints, of transphobia. We will get onto Lillian Orchard's response about all that, because Lily Orchard in her complaint that Natalie was being transphobic was transphobic themselves. Anyways, that's coming up. But anyways, but also Abigail Thorne, they accuse of being transphobic constantly, because Abigail made some silly joke about Donald Trump possibly being trans. Look, it wasn't a transphobic joke. It just wasn't a very good joke. Okay, and it seems to me that Ethel, basically will call anyone who's will smear anyone who's a bigot, who doesn't live up to their particular exacting standards. Okay, and I get
and they don't live up to their standards either.
Yeah, and I also get the feeling that they look to be offended. They're always trying, they're always trying to be the victim.
Yeah, it's not like a good look.
Yeah, and that's not good for those of us on the left. I mean, I'm not going to say that. I remember Volz said of Lily Orchard that the term SJW was applicable for Lily Orchard. Well, I don't want to call anyone a social justice warrior, because I hate the term, simply because what I know as social justice is not what TJ Kirk and the rest of the alt-right fuckwits think is social justice. Anyways,
but also it's just sort of
Vosh
has its own problems. Look,
basically,
creators are not gods, and
exactly.
And they're human beings, and they're all just human beings with good and bad qualities.
The thing is, right? I have been campaigning for disability rights since probably Ethel was born. Okay, and to be accused of ableism is just highly fucking offensive. So
you're working with the Labour Party with regards to disability rights. So actual.
No, I've been campaigning for disability rights since the mid-1980s.
Well, sorry, I just get the impression you've done groundwork and all that jazz.
Yeah, I've done a lot of work, and I'm proud for the fact that I've stood up for disability rights time and time again, right? Yeah. So I'm really fucking offended. I am actually genuinely upset, but it doesn't surprise me. By
the way, they brought up the Natalie thing recently, despite the fact that it had been
for fuck's sake,
over a year.
Natalie has said she was wrong in having giving Buck Angel a platform, and I mean it was only for fucking 10 seconds. And but I don't like dismissing things based off of the amount of no.
But that said, I realize that she made a mistake. She realizes that she seems to realize that she made a mistake, and she hasn't made the same mistake again in over a year. So
it's like get on, get over it and go on with it. That's kind of what needs to be said. I don't know they're going to take offense to me saying that, and they'll make a big deal about me saying that. But here's the thing.
If they do, I am more than happy than criticize them for punching down.
I mean, they go on about all the abuse they've received in their life. Well, you know as well as I do, because you know something about my background. My family rejected me for being disabled. Okay.
Yeah.
I was institutionalized because I was disabled. I had the shit kicked out of me for being disabled, right? All before I was sucking 16 years old. Okay? I didn't have a great start to life, even though I should have, because my family are actually fairly wealthy.
Yeah.
But sometimes money warps people's minds the wrong way. Anyways, there is there is a story regarding, an incident regarding Essence of Thought and someone self-harming. And I've got a video about this.
Are you talking about that? If that's the video I think of, yeah. So the thing about that, so it's that what the so the Rachel Oates thing was brought into question because she spent the time to make a video apparently and upload it and everything. So obviously there's questioning with regards to the self-harm and also the level of statement. And Rachel Oates is also someone who has supported plenty of transphobes and
yeah, but that's
not
that's not the point. The point is if they had actually, we don't know for sure. As you say, there is some questioning, but we don't know for one way or another whether they actually did genuinely self-harm, right? But let's say they did. Essence of Thought's response to that is well, it's repugnant. They just dismissed it as they've dismissed, as they dismissed, stuff which has happened to me. Believe me, they did that.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, I get the impression with a lot of YouTubers, it's bad people criticizing bad people, and you see this with so. A lot of egotistical people can sense other egotistical people and call out egotistical people and be all assholes to each other and make drama and do whatever level of things. And it's just so much, it's like a war of shite. And I don't know why I'm saying shit to try like that way. I hear you say it, and I want to copy you clearly. It's
no. What the galling thing is, if Essence of Thought just actually basically thought for a moment, she and I, actually, sorry, apologies. They and I should be. Allies. We want the same thing. We want equality, right? Just think it's I mean, the other thing is today I was told by a very well-known trans activist, who I'm not going to name, that they didn't want to come on this channel because they didn't think I could appeal, because I didn't generally appeal to cisgendered people. Now, you have to understand what is being applied here, what's being implied. Essentially, I am the unacceptable face of trans because I'm essentially an autistic cripple. Okay?
Oh, yay.
Anyways, now...
you don't drop other trans people because they're too different.
Yeah. Anyways, as I said, Lily Orchard has also accused Natalie Wim, otherwise known as ContraPoints, of being transphobic. But in this video, she is transphobic herself towards Natalie, as you will hear.
Definition of insanity is doing the exact same fucking thing over and over again, expecting shit to change. That is crazy.
Well, I already have a problem. But that's okay. binging really.
You know, not being a fucking shit merchant shouldn't be as hard as some people like to make it out to be. I talk a lot about performative allyship on this show, and I also talk about internalized bigotry a lot on this show. I've covered people and works that are made with a certain degree of self-hatred at their core, and I've tried to deconstruct why this attitude is such a damaging and deconstructive one. I rail against LGBT people who other themselves through monstrous or non-human portrayals, and I rail against those who would try and make self-deprecation and self-flagellation a core part of the LGBT experience. Today, we're going to do more of that because ContraPoints has spent the last month and a half shooting yourself in the foot. So, brief rundown for those of you who are blessed to not know who Natalie Wynn is. Natalie Wynn is a philosophy YouTuber who made a name for herself through analysis of right-wing talking points and how completely nonsensical they are. As the environment surrounding quote-unquote leftist YouTube started to grow, ContraPoints was quickly eclipsed by many other YouTubers who just had more general knowledge about philosophy, politics, and social awareness. As a result, Natalie's work turned to...
No. Don't think she's been eclipsed.
Yeah, her channel is like still pretty big, and a lot of people who have left extreme right-wing things have actually cited ContraPoints as part of the reason they left.
I think this was made in 2019, so...
away from philosophy and more towards these vague, esoteric topics about... well, there's really no other way I can describe it. Nothing. Her videos are about nothing, just a lot of waffle and excuses to dress up in costumes and talk to herself. When Natalie dared to step down from the MC Escher pedestal and talk about something real like an actual human being would, it would often lead to her playing devil's advocate for gross, disgusting pieces of shit like TERFs, transmedicalists, and incels. Incels is probably...
No, she was just explaining both sides of the argument. You know...
Well, I mean, so the thing about when you explain you have an argument, you have to actually obviously make it clear what your views are, and so long as you make it clear what your views are, it's not necessarily a problem, and I don't think they're about nothing, because like even self-exploration is a topic. I mean, admittedly, I find her videos boring, but that's a different story.
Well, I remember the one she did on TERFs, and you know that she sort of had that sort of like it was a studio debate. She played the trans activist and the TERF, and you know basically. It's a way of it's a vehicle to sort of say, well, this is what's being said, and and
the caricature of non-binary.
Yeah,
but
I mean, look, Natalie. I think Natalie did one of the best takedowns of Blair White with the whole Tiffany Tumbles thing. The thing is, right? Natalie is exploring issues, and she does so in, a very sort of, I guess the word is esoterical. I don't know if that's the right word, but I think it might be. The thing is, she takes her time. You have to watch the whole fucking video as well, Lily. Anyways, she does reach conclusions. It's obvious to me that Natalie is pro-trans, okay? From everything I've seen her say.
The most telling, as she claimed to sympathize with men who seem to struggle finding a date. Of course, the reason they struggle so hard is because they adamantly refuse to drop destructive and abusive habits that are putting everyone else off. A problem that Natalie herself would then demonstrate for the next year. Now, I need to prefix this by talking about something I'm going to call the diamond dilemma. See, Natalie hates being called a true scum. She hates that and thinks that it's unfair and needlessly mean. But as we're going to discover in this video, pushing trans-medicalist propaganda is something she does. There's no question about it. For all intents and purposes, she is a true scum. Whether that is intentional or accidental is entirely up to her. Natalie was constantly coming under fire for rhetoric that sounded extremely like transmedicalist rhetoric. Transmedicalism is the rhetoric of a true scum that insists that gender dysphoria is a medical issue entirely, and that you absolutely need dysphoria to be trans, and that being trans is inherently linked to binary gender roles.
Then you are fully trans, your identity is fully valid, but until you begin living as a woman, your womanhood remains kind of hypothetical.
I don't know if that's been taken out of context. I don't get the feeling.
Admittedly, I don't, but so I have no reason at the moment to think that it's intentional, but sometimes she says things without.
Natalie herself started off as genderqueer. I remember when she debated Blair White.
Yeah,
so,
no,
and I would imagine at that time she would have, and she would still say that being genderqueer is a valid fucking identity. So I don't know what Lily's trying to say, but anyways.
Well, I mean, so I mean, there are plenty of trans medicalists who are like who try to apply that act like genderqueer as like a stepping stone to finding their true selves, which it is sometimes, but it's not always, and sometimes.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is nothing I have heard from Natalie in any way tells me that she's a fucking bigot. She's not a true scum. I know that she has she did tweet that thing about she doesn't want to hang out with did she say was it non-binary or transvestite? There was something she said.
Well, yeah, and she did knee-jerk defend. She did knee-jerk downplay anything,
but nothing in her videos
negative about Buck Angel.
Nothing in her videos, right? I have heard tells me that she's a bigot. Okay, I just think I know she's not perfect. Natalie's on Natalie's on a journey just as much as I am, or Ozma, or Lily.
Yeah.
And part of that journey is to grow, is to learn, right?
Yeah,
okay? And we all fuck up.
And that ultimately, I agree, is like the most important part, and it definitely is clear because I know she definitely to a lesser extent hand-waved demisexuality in one of her videos about exploring her own sexuality and trying to understand it. While that's bad, like I said, you can do things that are not good, but ideally she doesn't make the same mistake twice, and she the ideal thing is for her to learn through her mistakes, and apparently, like, I get the impression that she doesn't have much of an actual safety net, and I don't.
No, Natalie does.
Natalie, yeah, I don't get the impression that Natalie has like a strong safety net, and has had some rough aspects to her.
No, there are people around.
There
are people around helping her. There are. But anyways.
Yikes.
True scum have a great deal of contempt for non-dysphoric and non-binary trans people and believe them to be faking their transness to be trendy. In practice, true scum rhetoric is little more than trans people projecting their internalized transphobia onto other trans people who
yeah, that's true, but I don't think that's Natalie.
Have the gall to not be miserable all the time. Natalie was constantly pissing off trans viewers with their careless and destructive comments about them, and at one point even started selling anti-Semitic conspiracy theories on her merchandise. Her first instance of this was a video called The Aesthetic, where Natalie staged a debate between a true scum character and a character that took the correct view that gender is eternal and you are what you say you are. Needless to say, the character who was actually right was presented as weak, ineffectual, and on the losing side of the argument, and Natalie did very little to...
No, that video was about the radical left, about capitalism.
Well,
and about the fact that Antifa can be a bit too militant sometimes, which is somewhat true. But
I don't know if I'd agree with that.
Well, you have to see the video yourself
of Antifa being
no. Oh, sorry. Look. Well, you have to see the video yourself. Basically,
no, I've seen the video. It's incredibly boring. painfully boring. I've watched the entire video. I'm not a fan of it. That said, she is doing what she is doing is an artwork where she's trying to.
She was pointing out that there are some people on the radical left. You know, she was saying, people like stuff, right, and that there are people who are so ideologically extreme that basically they will sneer and and spit at people for wanting a life, basically. And this is my experience of some people on the radical left. I have to admit, it is, particularly when it comes to LGBTQ stuff. You know, there are a lot of people on the radical left. We're talking about tankies here. This is what she was having a go at. That's the word I was trying to look for, not Antifa. Tankies.
Oh yeah,
yeah. She was.
Antifa aren't tankies.
Yeah, I know that. Sorry, I got the wrong fucking word.
Okay.
Tanky. Sorry.
No. Sorry. I don't mean to sound excessively harsh and.
No, I'll tell you what. We'll tackle this on Monday, okay?
Sure.
We'll go through this again on Monday, all right? Because obviously I'm having brain farts and yeah.
Yeah, and this is a subject that's easy to get emotional about because there is harmful aspects to, because Natalie is Elliot Page, there are people who are more visible and ideally you want to do what you can to help them move forward and make stuff help make stuff better and help people recognize trans people and be kinder and tearing them down over mistakes is not helpful. It's some of the same problems we have because with the hatred against Aria de Mesa.
Yeah, just to bring people up to speed with Aria, because I've spoken to her.
Which, by the way, we will be talking about on Sunday on my channel, me and Sophia and I assume Christy and Perfect as well.
Yes. Do you want to plug your various things?
Sure. So you can find me on osmondthedark.com. You can find a lot of the stuff. There's a link to the Fluid Voice. You can also see if I happen to be streaming or recent streams at osmondthedark.com now. Yeah, like I said, the Fluid Voice this week, I'm going to promote it soon on the Twitter. Wow, I'm really sounding old now. I am going to be promoting that with the video, and then this week, Sophia will be on. We'll be talking about that because that is its own whole thing, and there is a lot of transphobia and hate, and Aria shouldn't be oppressed or cruelly treated.
Yeah,
regardless of who is at any form of fault, and there is a lot of fault in the FBI.
Right. Yes. We'll get onto that on Sunday on the Fluid Voice. Definitely.
Yeah.
I was just going to say now, Aria to add to her woes is well, basically she's worn down. She's not well, at the moment. So thoughts go out to her. Anyways, this brings to an end another edition of Botha Rants. If you like this video, give it a like. If you like what we have to say here as well, please give it a share on social media. You get any feedback, leave a comment down below. And most important of all, please, pretty please subscribe and tell your friends to subscribe.
Yeah.
I can't stress this fucking enough. Okay. Anyways, have a great weekend if you can. Stay safe and take care of yourselves. And peace out.